Hold on, please. I just want to set up the recording. So, we are recording this session, and most importantly, to record your presentation. Yeah. So, what we do at Data Lab is we train people in data science. We upskill them to solve problems using data. And yeah, so we upskill them to solve problems using data. Yeah. So and we all know the importance of data in in today's world. Almost everything now is data driven. Our technologies nowadays are all data driven. Even your mobile phone is data driven. So data is more important, more than any other thing now, to any industry or company or even government. So everything nowadays is data driven, and data is being generated in billions, in billions. And those data, they are our digital footprints, which means once you pick them or once you fetch them and analyze them using some data analytics tools, you are going to generate actionable insight from those data, which you can use to inform practical decisions. So those decisions can be like, for example, you are using those data generated decision to make revenue prediction or to decide which products the company should launch, or you are trying to use those data insight to understand the different customer segments of a company. Then, even if those insights are generated for governments can be using those insights to plan the economy, to distribute resources, and and also to to provide social welfare for people. So data is very important now, and it seems to me that no matter what you are doing now, or wherever you are working, or whatever area that you are in, data is being generated in that particular area, and everybody in the present world should have one form of data literacy or the other. Yeah. So it doesn't matter what you are doing. You don't necessarily need to become a data scientist, but you must have a form of data literacy. Okay. So many people are learning data science now, not really because they want to be a scientist, but just that since data is all around us, so people need to be data literate now, whatever you are doing. Okay, so this presentation will be done by our online interns. So they've worked hard for some weeks now, and I'm super excited because they'll be presenting their projects now, and you guys will get to see firsthand, what they've done, what they've been through, and what they've done, in just few weeks of learning. And that's something to be proud of, and that's what we focus on at Data Lab. We train people with practical oriented projects, even from their first few weeks into the program. So we let them have hands-on projects so that they can demonstrate what we've been teaching them, and they can use it to solve real world problems. And the presentation you'll be listening to today, they are tailored towards reward problems, and
Hold on.
so they are tailored towards reward problems, and and you know and you're going to get to see them. Yeah. So thank you so much. And can the first person come up now?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Yemi. Uh, the other members of Team Unique and those joining us, good evening. My name is Adeboye Gadede Okunoluwatosin. I'm a member of the Team Unique team, the online class of DataLab 2022 internship class. So I did a web application that has to do with transportation. There is a problem in the transport industry that I am trying to solve, like delay in the booking of tickets at the office. And I'm looking at a solution that a passenger or somebody that is traveling will be able to book journey ahead, or you can also book from everywhere, just like we do whenever we want to travel by flight. So I'm looking at the same solution to road transport. In road transport, there are some road transport companies who have a working application, but also there are quite a number of others who don't have. So what I intend to do with this app is to see how we can come up with something that can incorporate every one of them. So I use the technology stack of Python programming and JIT for version control. We use Streamlit for the user interface design and Heroku for the online deployment of the web application. So these are the links to the application. You have the GitHub link and the Heroku link also that can be used to access the app from anywhere. So I'm just going to using the link, visit the site so that I can do a little demonstration for us to see. Okay. All right. So this is the landing page of the app. To the left-hand side, there is a sidebar that is requesting for name, which can be anybody, it can be somewhere. And then underneath it, you see what do you want from us today. You want to book a seat, you want to hire a bus, or you want to check a booking status. So you want to book a seat, then it's asking you, are you doing a one-way trip or you want to do round trip? Like if you get to your destination, you want to come back to the initial pickup point. And then, so if you say one way, then we have to select the date of the journey, because don't forget, part of the objective is to be able to book ahead. So even if you want to travel next month, anytime, you can still book. And then there is a drop down where you select where you want to pick from. You can actually pick up from major cities in Nigeria. Basically, the state capitals have been incorporated. So if you are living from Port Harcourt, for instance, and then if you select Port Harcourt as your destination, you see the app is telling us that your departure point cannot be the same as your arrival point. So you have to change this to another destination, which has now gone. So by the time you submit this, it's telling you, thank you for choosing top transportation. They are somewhere using your name. And if you also do round trip, if you are doing round trip, you see you can also select the dates you want to travel. And the same way, if you pick your your departure point and your arrival point, it will still tell you that departure and arrival point cannot be the same. And by the time you select your destination, now you see an information there for you that your destination now will be your next departure terminal. And then you are going to select the date you want to depart. That's you want to return back to the arrival point. That's your new arrival point, which you can also select from here. And from the PowerPoint, you can also access it on the mobile phone. The mobile phone is the second screenshot by the right. All right. So we have some areas of improvement and new project ideas, like creation of account. Individuals should be able to create accounts and sign up, monitor their travel history. They want to connect the web app to a database, an avenue where you can even book, reserve a seat where you want to sit down in particular, and then have different transport companies onboarded on the web app, so that even those who may not have an online presence for now can also leverage on this application for their teaming clients. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Adedoku, for such a wonderful presentation. So that's a web app tailored towards transport industry, and you can see, so that was done using Python uh, programming, so he wrote the source code, then designed the web interface so that people can interact with the app and you can see the basic functionalities of the app. So as I said, these projects are done or is done few weeks into their learning, so which shows how much they've learned in just like uh, 3 weeks or so. Yeah. So if you have any question about this particular web application just presented now, I don't know if you can just ask your question. So you are welcome if you are just joining us. So this is DataLab, and DataLab is a data analytics training and consulting company in Nigeria, and we train people in data science, and we also consult uh, for data science projects. So we have our in-house team in Abuja who work on data projects. Then we also have some team members who work with us remotely. So, like me, for example, I'm joining from the UK. So we have some team members in South Africa. Then we have another team member in Yaoundé in Cameroon. Yeah. So if you have any question about this particular project, you can ask. Yeah. Before we move on to the next project. All right. So if there's none, let's move on to the next person. Can we have Adamu Nuruddin? Yeah. Adamu Nuruddin, are you there?
Good afternoon, everybody.
Okay, I think he's offline, so we can move on to the next person while we come back for him. Let's have Moses Oyemari. Yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone. Please confirm me if you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you and we can see you.
Okay. I'm going to be sharing my screen now. Okay, my name is Moses Onyemari, and I'm truly honored to be part of this wonderful presentation. And hopefully, by the end of the presentation, I should be getting you guys to support my innovation, probably drop some few dollars, or even Mr. Olayemi to drop some few pounds to support
Okay.
this project. Okay, this is a specialized stock monitoring web application. So the essence of this application is to provide specialized information about a particular stock. Maybe for a segment now, maybe there is industries and banking. So for banking now, banking is a segment. Manufacturing is another segment. So this is a kind of application to monitor stocks from those different segments. But for the purpose of this presentation, I'm going to be presenting just for bakeries. And again, this is just for potential investors to know information about stocks in the market, the one that they are going to buy, the one that is performing and the one that is not performing. So this is to provide basic information through charts and through chat, basically charts. So I've used Python to as the framework for this program, and I also use Streamlit module, and I use them. I inculcate some a little animation into it with the Loti module, and I picked Yahoo Finance as my major source of information. That is where I picked all my stock information from, and I was able to successfully upload my project in GitHub via the Heroku's command line interface. So I'm going to be sharing how my app looks like, but this is just a screenshot, the pictorial representation of how it looks like. So let me take you to my presentation right now. So this is my app. So the name of the company is Cokex Portfolio. You can see so many information. So if you want to know more information, you can click on this link to get there. You can also get some vital information on what stock about the company. And again, you can see my little animation just with the Loti model doing its own on the right hand side of your screen. So on scrolling down, that is where the major thing happens. So you can see information about this company in Baker's each company. So you can see their closing price, their close information. These are all stock terms, their volume information, and recommendations. So this is going to tell you about this particular baker each company, how it's doing in the market. You can see something like earning average, earning date, and all these things. So you can also select different companies. Remember that we are focused on bakery, so you can also select another bakery. So you can see all these acronyms, they are all stocks technical term. So if I click on this TBAKF, it is going to give me the full name of the company, that's Ted Baker. If I click on another one, this let's say this LOTB, is going to give me the full name, Lotus Baker. So that's basically my simple application. So going back to my presentation, so areas of improvement and new project ideas. So basically, I'd focus this presentation on just the bakery business. So we can also look at adding other sectors, other segments like manufacturing, technology, medicine. So there's going to be like a menu for the users to be able to slide through, select a particular menu for probably technology, whatever. So there's going to be a lot of information. And again, inclusion of additional chart elements. So if you look at my chart, I only use line charts to present information for the users, for potential investors, not users right now, potential investors to pick from. So there are different kinds of charts that I could have picked from, the bar charts, the so many of them. And again, ability for the users to download reports for a particular selected industry. Again, there should be a functionality for the potential for the investor to be able to download a particular report, so that they can study offline. Again, interactive dashboard. So there should be a portion on that web application for the users to select elements that, okay, they want to study X against Y, how the market is, they want to study a particular information about a particular company. So there must be like a dashboard for the users to be able to do that. And again, finally, there should be integration of payment modules. So after the users have downloaded information, browse through and get be able to derive some information about a particular stuff, the user must be the investor rather must be able to commit some money to buy that particular stock. So there should be a payment module um, um, hosted on the application. So thank you very much.
Yeah,
Any
that's great.
question?
Yeah, from thank you, Moses, for this wonderful web application tailored towards the stock market. And you can see how the Yahoo Finance data was read into the web app, and you can see the various functionalities, showing the performances of particular stocks. Yeah, so that's great. And this was done, just as I said, within just few weeks of entering into our data science program. We want our students to work on some projects, not at the end of the program or towards the end, but even from the onset, we want them to start, playing with data, start building from the onset, not just one final project at the end of the day. Yeah, so that is great. And if you have any question concerning this project, it's time to ask. Do you have any question concerning the web application presented by Moses, or the concept behind how that was done? Yeah.
And if you want to drop a little bit of money so that we can move the ministry to the permanent site, it's also open.
Okay. Yeah. So you can also make it an open source project so that people can help you contribute to it. Probably that may be fine. Yeah. So welcome if you are just joining us. This is DataLab, and we have some of our online interns here who have done their projects. They are not yet done with their program, okay? They are just few weeks into the program, but they just quickly want to show you what they've been up to, yeah. So thank you for joining us. Okay, let's go to the next person. Um, let's have Adamu Nuruddin now. Yeah. So Adamu Nuruddin, just tell us where you are joining us from, as in your location. Then you can start your presentation of your project. Yeah, we can't hear you. Okay.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, you are joining us from where?
Good afternoon, instructor. My name is Adamu Nuruddin. I'm joining from Ilorin, Nigeria.
Okay, Lauren, Nigeria. Okay, good.
Yes. And I'm a lucky member of Team Unique 2022 set. Today I'll be making a presentation on a web application I designed that is solely channeled into tourism. The problem in tourism in Nigeria is not as if we don't have the tour sites, it's lack of basic information, first-hand information. Like we have been to Obudu, we have been to Bonny Island, Yankari, but all of these places, there is no particular application in the 21st century that you can sit at the comfort of your home, review these places, know how much it will cost you to take a vacation there, and so on. The main aim of this app is to demonstrate what it will look like if we design an application where users can book for their tourism, leisure, and vacations. So the main thing we are trying to solve here is to let people know that these places exist. There is much fun in Nigeria. This app was written using the Python programming language. Git and GitHub was used for version control. Graphic user interface was controlled by Streamlit. Then finally, it was deployed by Heroku. These are screenshots of the working application. The desktop. This is a picture of what it looks like. Here we have the GitHub address and we also have the URL, though it is still linked to Heroku. I'm going to upload what the working application looks like and make a little demonstration. And when you log on to this web app, this is the page that it brings you to. Welcome to the 360 tours, and there is a little code here to just make visitors feel relaxed. Here is a space where you input your name. When you enter, it says, "Hi Dean, would you like to tour with us?" If you said no, there will be an error message telling you maybe another time. But if you say yes, you will be welcome. Here, showing you the four different classes of tour that are available. We have Dubai in Tokyo, we have Paris in Milan, we have Vegas in Ontario, and we have Zanzibar in Abuja. All of these come with different package. For example, Dubai in Tokyo, having a little bit of network issue, I apologize.
Okay.
It's been raining today, so the network has been crappy. So when we choose a class, for example, we're going with Dubai in Tokyo, which is the cheapest class we have in this app. It brings you a menu telling you you can have mountain experiences, city tour, local market tour, and others just for $200 per day. Now, this is a picture of what Dubai and Tokyo looks like. When you go down, you see a calendar where you can communicate with the app and tell him I'm coming in on the 27th of June. So it will now ask you how many days will you like to tour with us. If you are touring for just one day, it will calculate $200 for you. 2 days, 400, and so on. Now there are different payment methods you can use. At the moment of designing this app, MasterCard is not available. You can decide to do bank transfer. Here are the bank details. If you want to use Paystack, not available. Flutterwave is available. Then you can generate an ID. Now this is just Dubai and Tokyo. The only difference between Dubai and Tokyo and the rest is the amount and the experience that you get to. Like this is Paris in Milan. So you see the image here changes to something sweeter and it is $300 per day. Every other thing downward is the same. So the calculator changes into 300 per day. We have Vegas in Ontario and we have Zanzibar in Milan. This is what Zanzibar in Abuja looks like. So this is just is a work in progress. There are a lot of things that need to be done because tourism is something that aesthetic and it has to be attractive. So the graphic user interface need to be improved with motion pictures, videos, and even real-time documents. Now, I also recommend data storage so that the next time a customer comes in, as soon as he starts typing his details, it will automatically pop-up suggestions. And we have to sync the app with payment platform like the MasterCard. We need to connect it with banks and pay stack and other things. But we're shooting tips and account managers. We can create our account and back-end database. Thank you very much for your time, and I hope you enjoyed the presentation.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dean 360 Thor. So that's a Python web application, that filters out tourist locations and calculates the price for each, for you, and even allow you to go ahead and book, and with a potential for payment gateway integration. Yeah, so and you can see this tech stack that was used. Um, so just as I said earlier, if you're just joining us, so they are DataLab online interns here in the house here, and what they are doing today is just to present the applications that they built using Python programming. They are just few weeks into their training program. They are not yet done. They still have some other projects to do, but they are just showing you what they have been up to within just few weeks. Okay, so and I hope you've been enjoying the presentations so far. And if you have any question from this particular work, it's time to ask, or those that have been presented earlier. Any question at all from how they got, how he did this, or what you want to understand about it, you can ask. Okay, so if there's no question, we still have some few people to present their own work. And before we take them, I would just love us to go on less than 1 minute break. Yeah, or 1 minute break. Okay. Yeah. S- So thank you. So just hang on, please. Let's go on 1 minute break. Yeah.
After a while of trying a couple other things, I realized I wanted to do something a bit more challenging and something that would allow me to solve diverse problems. And this was when I came across data science. The decision to learn data science came from the fact that I realized how vastly data science can be applied. It meant that I would always be relevant and my job would never be boring. Presently, I work in the development industry, and I believe that the presence of data science in the development industry can only lead to efficiency. And while I would immediately be working on that, I would be open to working in other fields that data science can be applied in. The thing I would really miss leaving data lab or ending the studies in data lab is the people that make data lab. I mean, in my own case, the community, my colleagues and the tutors, and every single person I had the opportunity to come across at Data Lab, I would miss every one of them because for me, they are Data Lab.
I stumbled on DataLab ad on social media, and considering I've been trying to transition into tech, My teammates in DataLab were very fun-loving people, very young at heart, very intelligent. Most of them had good analytical thinking skills. I enjoyed the discussions in class. Before DataLab, I was in the media industry. So I'm going to remain in that industry and see how my new skills in data science can solve some of the media marketing problems. So I'll probably be looking at working on data sets and creating models that would help processes in the media marketing industry. Data science, data analytics is the future. The world revolves around data these days. So data science has come to stay and is going to keep evolving newer models, newer ways to do things. I believe it's the future.
All right. Thank you so much for hanging on. Yeah. So I hope you enjoy the break. Yeah. So this is Data Lab. So Data Lab is all about creativity, is all about collaboration, and we do things differently, Yeah. And of course, Data Lab is a big family. All our interns, they always have that to say that it's more than just a training. It's actually a family, and we're very proud of that. Okay, so we have some of our interns who have gone ahead to lead teams in other companies. We have some that have traveled overseas, a lot of them, and to US, to UK, to Canada, and they are doing well. Or some of them are into jobs, while some of them are furthering their studies overseas. Same in this field. Okay, so thank you so much, and I think we can go ahead now into other wonderful presentations we still have for today. So let's take Ona Matthew. Ona Matthew, are you here? Ona
Hello, good evening,
Matthew.
everyone.
Yeah, good evening. So tell us where you are joining us from, then you can start your presentation.
Okay, once again, good evening, everybody. My name is Honor Matthew. I'm currently in Delta State. Um, I'm a member of this team, Unique, and I have a presentation to make this evening. I hope it interests you. Okay, so what I have before us here is part of the things I'm very, very passionate about is entrepreneurs and startups. Part of the challenges that we have encountered as an entrepreneur personally is getting a site where I can generate invoices, electronic invoices for my clients when they ask for it. So when I learned Python on this program, the first thing that came to my mind was, oh, why don't you just build something? And I hope you enjoy this. Okay, so first of all, the problem that we have as startups when talking about electronic invoices is that first, you don't have the money to build your own invoice generator that you can use to build an electronic invoice for your clients. And then when you go online to look for free invoice generation generators, trying to cut costs, you see things like you have to subscribe to one premium service or the other before you can get the full service. Or if you're not subscribing to those, you're going to have watermarks on your invoice. And you bear witness with me that it's not proper to have another company's watermark on your invoice when you're sending to a client. And then you see things like data merchandise. You get asked or prompted to accept one cookies or the other, different kind of ads popping up, because even those who have the website are trying to make as much money as possible. They eventually end up stealing your information on that of your clients and selling it out to different companies and individuals. And at the end of the day, what do you see? You check your spam and then you keep seeing emails from different people saying, oh, that they need to send you one money, or you should send them one money, or you have been qualified so for these or that. Scammers online emailing you because they got your data from where you don't know. So this is part of the challenge that we encounter. And if I thought building my own invoice that everybody else can use for free would be totally cool. All right, so this is a free invoice builder that has no company watermarks on it and promises complete data safety for companies and their clients. All right, so these are the tools that I basically used. I used Python to do the back end, and I used Streamlit to create the user interface. And I also used Git and GitHub for version control and Heroku to deploy the app. All right, so this is a screenshot of the app. I'm just going to go through the app and then we can see what it looks like. Okay, great. All right, so far so good. It's still a work in progress, but this is what I have so far. So you have here a free invoice generator, and then you have the opportunity to either generate a sales invoice or generate a pro forma invoice, right? Cool. All right, so if you're generating a sales invoice, they pretty much work the same way. If you're generating a sales invoice, all you have to do is to fill in your company details on this tab, and then fill in the details of the recipient here on this tab. Okay, so I'm just going to use my personal details. Great. All right, so you have the order date, the date where the order was being placed, and then you have a pop-up calendar from here, and then you can select the date of the order and then select the date of the delivery also. Then other than that, you can now include your item, the item that your client is purchasing. So let's say you have someone who is getting a journal. Of the journal the person is getting, let's say 5 pieces of journal, and then the price of the journal, let's say for each journal costs 1,500. This tab for amount here should automatically calculate itself, so you don't have to calculate 1,500 times 5 and all of that. So you can totally just go ahead to the next item. All right, so the next item, let's say he's getting a pen alongside the journal, and let's say he's getting a dozen, and that makes it 12, right? And then is also the price of each pen. Let's say the price is 500 naira, and then let's say he's also getting a book or maybe a literature. Yep, and then he's getting 1 copy of that, and let's say it's 3,500 for that. And lastly, let's say your client is getting let's say a shirt to match, for instance, maybe a 3-piece shirt, and each shirt costs 4,500 per piece. So once you click on submit, what you have here is that the total amount automatically calculates itself. 5 times 1,500 will give you 7,500, and then 500 times 12 will give you 6,000, and so on and so forth. And then you have the total amount in naira. Total amount in naira would be 30,500 for everything that has been built here. Okay, so we also have this function here. It's called the export function. At this moment, I'm still working on integrating that properly, because but what this is supposed to do is that once you hit on export, it's supposed to generate this whole invoice like this to you as a PDF file. So that's not available. That's what I'm planning on doing with this. So this is just a prototype. Okay, so what do I look forward to improving? This is the link to the invoice, and of course the GitHub repository, in case if you want to contribute. It's totally an open source program. So part of the things that I intend to do, sorry about this, part of the things that I intend to do on this program, on this app, is to include user authentication. By user authentication, I mean that creating a database or a dashboard where you can totally sign up as a company and then store in your details and that of your clients. That would be user authentication and database too. You can safely store your details and store the details of your clients, so that if you are a frequent user, every time you come back, you don't need to fill in your details again. It will just fill itself by default. And then if you're going to send an invoice to a returning client, what happens is that you don't need to refill the details again. You can just select the name of the client, and those details should automatically fill themselves. That way it saves you time and everything. Then you just have to fill in the items and cost and everything, and then just export as PDF and send to your client. Also, the upload and download function, so you can properly insert your logo, your company logo, on the PDF file, and a download function, which is what I showed us there, that you can export your invoice also as PDF. Okay, so those are some of the things that I intend to add. This project is totally welcome, open for contributions and all. All right. So lastly, I want to appreciate the DataLab team for helping out with this project, most especially Mr. Olaimi for going all out for us. Thank you very much. This is what I have for you.
All right, great. That's a great project indeed. Invoice generator using Python programming. Okay, so all these are just showing you the functionalities or projects you can build, using Python. Python is a popular programming tool for data science. But it's not just for working with data. Python is first and foremost a programming language that you can use to build applications. Then you can go all the way to use it to also work on your data. Yeah, so what we do at Data Lab is that we teach our interns raw Python programming, foundational Python programming, and they start by using Python to actually build web applications like what you've seen so far from these presentations. Then they go from there to now start using Python to work on data. So they have like um, dual advantage. They have dual advantage, of learning foundational Python programming and how to use it to build web application. Then the other side is how to pick the Python programming again and use it to work on data, to do machine learning and the likes, which would be their second project in this program. So we hope by then we're going to invite you again so that you can see what they've done when it comes to using Python now to work on data and machine learning stuffs. Okay, but what you are saying now is just using the raw Python programming itself, to build basic or simple applications, but very relevant to specific use cases, that could help people to solve a problem, maybe searching for where to visit and the prices, or even like, what you just saw now, generating invoice for a business. So you can use Python, to build something, to do that. Okay. So let's go ahead and take Usman. Do we have Usman here? Usman.
Yes, hello.
Okay, you can go ahead. Tell us where you're joining us from, and you can.
I'm joining you guys from Abuja. Let me just go to the website first. I'll share my screen.
Okay, seems you're having problem.
It should be showing now.
Okay.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Usman. I'm coming to you from Abuja. I'm part of Team Unique 2022, and the app I want to present today is a calorie counter for fruits and vegetables. Solve the problems or the target area I wanted to focus on was the health industry and how nowadays everyone seems to be preoccupied in knowing the amount of calories they take in for whatever food they consume or they purchase. So I wanted to create an app that allow any sort of store to be able to have the customer select their food from the list of items that they have in the store, and from those selections they can be able to view the amount of calories in each of the items and the amount of calories in the entire order if they wanted to know how much calories they would consume if they were to prepare that food. So the solution for this problem I did was I created an application that already has a built-in table that has like the calorie content for each item within the menu. And my program will also be able to display the calorie content and the total calorie content for the selection. Some of the technologies I used was Python, obviously for the programming, Git for version control, any sort of comments I made to the and changes I made to the original code, Streamlit for the user interface, and Heroku for deploying the website or application. So this is sort of a short demo of the app, although I've updated some features within the app. But basically, this is the basic view of the app. Here you see the selection menu, the selection window, and here you see what will be displayed after you've selected your items. So if I can show you this. Can you see? I'm not sure if you're able to see this.
Yes, we can see it.
Oh, okay. Okay, so just to go through, first, when it comes to health, some of the parameters that are really important are things like the gender of the individual, because men and women, the way that metabolism works when it comes to food and when it comes to health is slightly different. Another important thing is your weight. So this one is set in kgs, although I haven't really shown it, but you can basically select your weight as well. If you're 90 kg, 65 kg, whatever, and your height is also very important in centimeters. And here's where you come to select the items in your menu. There's some problems with the. So let me just select, let's say, 5 items. And if I just click this button, you see the calorie contents for the 5 items I selected. Cantaloupe will give you 25 calories. Fresh grapes will give you 60 calorie content. Strawberries 120, diced peaches 70, applesauce 50, and total caloric value will be 225. So it's a very basic and simple app. It doesn't take much. Although I do have to make some changes to make the weight and the height count. But back to the presentation. So that was a short demo. So these are the areas of improvement I feel like will make the application even better. So obviously expanding the different types of food that will be displayed. Apart from that, displaying the different things that go into calculating the calories. So things like how many grams of carbs are in there, the fiber content, the sugar content. Those are also important for people that are into health. Also, being affording the customer the ability to create an account, which will also save the previous order information if the customer wants to go back and check the calorie content of the previous orders. A way for the customers to send their suggestions for improvements into the app, presenting the information in a tabular form that will just make it the presentation more neat. And although I've already added the weight and height input, I can do more to sort of incorporate the height and weight input into the total calculation. So to give the customer an exact idea of how the calorie content will affect them as an individual if you take your weight and your height into account. And basically that was my short presentation for my calorie counter app. I would like to thank not only the team Unique and our teacher, Mr. Olayemi, but also the DataLab institution for affording me the ability to be able to create something as this. And I think that'll be the end of my presentation. And any questions?
So
Gladly appreciated.
any question? Yeah, thank you so much, Usman. So that's a web application that does calorie counters, based on a food item, yeah. So, and you can see the practical use case of this web application. It helps you to know the calories in each of those food item, then it does the calculation for you. So that is a very practical use case. So we normally encourage our interns, to do a project, that tackles everyday problem relating to people, no, so not just doing random projects, that doesn't really solve or that wouldn't be too useful, for people. So that's great. Okay. Uh, let's have Dr. DK. Dr. Dicky, are you there? We soon round up. I think we have
Good evening, sir.
15 minutes. Yeah.
Okay.
So where are you joining us from? Then you can start your presentation.
Okay. I'm joining from Owerri, to be precise, today. Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Olayemi, members of Team Unique, and colleagues. My name is DKGK McNaughton. I'll be presenting a mini web app, which is basically a web form. People may be wondering why web form, but just because of my interest in data, that's the driving force that takes decision to one thing. Then it helps me to get instruments that easily collect, analyze, and disseminate relevant information without undue restriction, as well as the exponential increase in use of data in business analytics. These are the motivating factors. And sorry, I need to share my screen. Basically, this is a web form, and the problem was perceived by me due to my period of research as well as my colleagues. We do encounter when we want to use online forms, and if we want to go to sites to disseminate questionnaires, most times is a big problem for us. So that's the major driving force that made me think about building a form, since I have an idea on how to do it using some little programming language and experience I had in this training. So I also use this to acknowledge DataLab in the solution aspect. That's why you can see the logo, because that's where I acquired a little knowledge and how to go about this with the help of colleagues and my tutor in that aspect. The applications used for this program include Python for programming, version controlled with Git and GitHub, Streamlit used for interface development, and Oracle for the deployment of the app. This is a screenshot of the app as it functions, but to demonstrate the functionality of this app, I will be taking you to at this moment. I will take you to online environment where this app is deployed to demonstrate the functionality of the form. This is a form hosted at heroku.app.com. So Prime Form is the name of the form as you see it on the screen. Here you enter your name, then you can enter your email in the second. You enter your email in the appropriate column as indicated above. Then your mobile number can go here. The essence of this is to get the data of the person you really want to study about or get back to at the end. But this is a survey form, to be precise. Gender male, then age is between 18 to 35. Then area of interest, artificial intelligence. Then what will you want to improve about this thing? I'm interested in quality since it's a survey. What can I say about the services I experienced with them? Well, I can say it's awesome. Then how would I like to rate this company? I would like to rate them at the scale of 4, 5. Then when I submit, all the selections will now print below as selected. So this is what is expected to transfer to the database, which will be stored for follow-up of the clients or any study of interest. At this moment, I'll go back to the slides where I'm presenting. There are further researches I want to improve about this, as in designing a form whereby from user's interface, you can add or remove some columns to be able to answer specific or relevant questions based on the research you're conducting or whatever purpose you're using the form for, and also to work towards connecting it to a database which will be used for visualization and analysis. At this moment, I thank Mr. Olayemi, then DataLab Nigeria Limited, as well as my colleagues at Team Unique 2022 for giving me the ambient environment to learn and get to this point. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, DK. Yeah, so as you can see, that form has a very practical use case. Is a survey form, which means you can use that form to collect data, it could be a tool for data collection, which is very important in any data science project. So any question about that, you can ask. If you have any question about that particular project. Okay, we'll move on now to the last person now. Ijeoma, do you want to present?
Okay, good evening, everyone.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you. I'll share my screen now. Okay, good evening, everyone.
Yes, you can go ahead. Tell us where you are joining us from, then you can start your presentation.
Okay, my name is Ijoma Konde. I'm joining from Lagos. I joined in from Lagos, Nigeria. My presentation is on the Python web application I call my expense tracker. So the application, this is a mini application, and it's a, over the years, growing up, some money will come into my hand, and after a while, I may not be able to give account of how I spent the money or what happened to the money. So that was what motivated me to work on an app like this that will help you keep track of your expenses and help you work within your budget, and also to make strategic investments. So this requires the proper tracking of your income and expenses. So the app will help you to track your income and expenses, and it's for people who want to target their spending and track their expenses over time. So the application, the technology stacks I use are Python programming language, the Git for version control, and Streamlit for user interface design, and the Heroku web for the web deployment. This is a demo of the working app. So this is the working app. Thank you. So this is the website link is there on the, when you click the website link, you can open the demo of the working app. So this is what you have. You have the sidebar window and the main window. From the sidebar window, you can impute the year that you are tracking your expenses. So we have the year, we can select your year. Like we are in 2022, you can select 2022, and the month is June 2022. So in June 2022, assuming you earn an income of, let's say, 200,000 naira, and you get an additional income, let's say somebody dashed you, or you're able to do some side hustle to get additional income, let's say like 100,000. Now here I listed some various expenditure category. Okay, by the time you put in your income, all the money you have gathered for the month, the app will automatically calculate the total amount that you have received for that month. Like in this instance, it's telling me, great, your total income will be 30,000, 300,000 naira. That's an addition of 200 and 100. So moving forward, we have the expenditure category where these are foreseen as an expenditures that you are likely to embark on. So we have the housing. I know in Nigeria here, I know that many, like if you want to pay for house rent, is aggregated over the year, but you can actually split it, on your own. You can actually split, as when you are paying 200,000 for your house rent in a year, you can split it by 12 and have the amount for that month. Let's say you have like 20,000 for a month, and in that month you spend on electricity. Let's say you spend like 5,000 on electricity, and you spend another 5,000 on water, and food. You have like 20,000 on food. Assuming you have a vehicle, you can also fuel your vehicle. You can fuel your vehicle. Sorry, I'm trying to get my screen up. A minute, please. Okay, you can fuel your vehicle. Let's say you buy fuel of 5,000 in a month. Groceries, you have groceries like 2,000, and then transportation. If you have a car, you can, maybe your car will be taking you around, but if you don't have a car, you can put an amount for your transportation. Let's say we have a car, and then we can ignore the transportation, and then we can put an airtime. For airtime, you have to spend on airtime and data. Let's say we have 10,000 naira. And then on health, let's say you spend an additional 5,000 on health. And clothing, you spend 10,000 on clothing and others. This could be any other expenses that is not captured in this category. So what you can see here is that as you are imputing your expenses, the app is automatically calculating what you will have. And you can calculate total expenses. It will show you that your total expenses next month will be 82,000 naira. And it's also telling you that you will have a surplus next month of 218,000. Remember, you started from 300,000. So by the time you do all these expenses, you have a balance of 218,000 in your hand. Then that will help you to be able to say, yes, I can spend this. But assuming you also, let's say, you spent like let's say maybe you spend more than what you have in your budget. It's like, I'm just putting figures here. So now, let's say I have 100,000 on clothing. 50,000. Okay, assuming by the time you do your expenses and you did more than what you have in your budget, it will also tell you your total expenses would be, okay, like this one, I used random numbers. It told you your total expenses for that month would be 792,000. And there's a warning here. It says, check your spending habits. You are running a deficit of this amount. So this is just like a practical of how a practice of how the demo that the app works. It's expected to help you to track your expenses and know when you are running a deficit or when you are online. So I'll go on to the app. Like I said, this is a demo of the working application. These are the links. If you click any of the links, it will take you
Yeah.
to the deployment. And then the areas of improvement. For areas of improvement, the user interface is expected to be improved. Like I put the month and the year. I expect there will be an improvement where you will be able to calculate or track your expenses over a period of time. Let's say in 2022, I can track my expenses from January, in February, in March. I'll be able to track them. And then it's also expected that there will be a graphical representation of the data. And then also the app will over time give the user the ability to customize the income and the expenditure category. That means you can put in your income as in any other category of income or any other category of expenditure. And then other ideas, you can also be able to sync the app with the payment platform. Let's say it's expected that you're able to sync it with your bank account so that automatically it will assign the amounts to the various categories.
Okay. Joma, thank you so much for this. Yeah.
Thank you.
So you've seen the practical use case of this particular app. So that's expense tracker, which is a very important use case indeed. I remember that I do use some bank apps where you find you know feature like this in those banks apps, that helps you to track your expenses and also flagged if you are overspending. Yeah, so that's very good. And I want to say thank you now to everybody who have made a presentation today. I want to thank those of you who joined from different places also, and I really appreciate you're joining us to see what these wonderful people have done, the wonderful projects that they have done just few weeks into their training, and we are looking forward that they will build upon this. And when next time we call you again, you would see something more than this, from them. But these are all great use cases, as you can see, and that shows you how much they've learned to be able to go all the way, to writing the Python codes and even building a user interface for it that uh, people can interact with. Yeah. So thank you so much, and we will like to bring the presentation to a close now. And if you have any question about this or about our programs at DataLab, you can simply check our website www.datalab.com.ng, and you will also see our contact information on the site, and you can just send us an email or you can give a call. Yeah, thank you so much, and I wish you all a very happy weekend, and bye.